Hello and welcome to today's testing notebook for day 2. 2 more days to go until the end of pre-season testing, and then 2 weeks until the start of the Melbourne Grand Prix in Australia. So I'm going to start off with the news today. There was a request from Renault, who had tried to extend the deadline for the engines being frozen performance-wise. As it stands at the moment, it's very unlikely that this is going to go through, which I will get onto in a minute. So basically, the performance-wise engine, adding performance, making more performance for the engine, has stopped today, and teams can only now touch it for reliability purposes and safety purposes and stuff like that. But I'm going to just go the way the voting works, because now they've requested there have to be a vote, but I don't know if there will be a vote, because it looks like at the moment the way the speculation has been going on so far that there won't be a vote and Renault are just going to say, okay, the engines performance-wise are frozen. But the way the voting would work is that Bernie Ecclestone would get 6 votes, even though he's now off the board of chairman of the FA, because he's still running the sport, so he still gets 6 votes. Jean Todt for the FIA gets 6 votes, so that's 12 votes in total, and the teams get 1 vote each. So if Bernie Ecclestone and Jean Todt decide yes, they should have an extension for performance-wise in the engines, then it doesn't matter what the teams say, then the unanimous vote would already work, because Bernie Ecclestone and Jean Todt would give Renault more votes than what the teams could put all together. So then it will go through. But as I said, as it stands at the moment, it could be rejected, as the FIA have said that the Renault did not really have much of a case, because they didn't specify why in their request, but it seems pretty vocal now that it was performance-wise. But in their request, they didn't specify why they wanted the engine performance to be not frozen and have an extra 2 months to work on it. But I'm going to move on to today's action. Red Bull, though, had a much better day today. They had 66 laps completed, which was a good day for Red Bull, so they were having decent running from Daniel Ricciardo, who, to be fair, hasn't had much running in the car. Mercedes caused a red flag early on and had a gearbox issue and finished early yet again, but they still completed a large amount, 89 laps I think Hamilton completed. But they're hitting a few reliability issues, but I think it'll be good that they're hitting the reliability issues now rather than away at the moment. Force India have had a solid day yet again. They're at fight for Williams for the 4th fastest team, and they were on top of the timesheets again with Sergio Perez, but the times have been pretty slow compared to what the times were last week. Lotus struggled again. They had an engine fire which caused Pastor Maldonado to stop early today. So yet again, he only completed 31 laps. So Lotus yet again, and after missing the Jerez test, you think they are quite behind, even though there are reports at the moment saying that they are the quickest Renault-powered team at the moment. So after I said yesterday that Marussia would have probably one of the most unreliable teams out there that did not have a Renault engine, they've gone and proved me wrong today, because they have completed 75 laps with Jules Bianchi today and had a very trouble-free session today. So good news from Marussia that they're working well and actually getting some good mileage in. And Bianchi, who only did about 3-4 laps in total last week, has done 75 laps today. So good work for Marussia. Caterham, though, Marussia's main rivals, ended early again with another engine fire today on Marcus Ericsson's car. And at the moment, we think that Marussia at the moment are about nearly a second clear of Caterham, which, as I said yesterday with Kobayashi saying that Caterham might as well be racing in GP2, is sort of, those rumours are coming true that, Caterham have not really made a car that is quick enough or at an F1 standard. And it would be very interesting to see what the GP2 times will be when they start in, I don't know when they start, I think they start first rounds in Malaysia, I believe. So it'll be quite interesting to see how they are compared to the Caterham type car, but you never know, there still might be some updates coming to the car which might save them. But we're going to look at the times for today. So Sergio Perez was leading, as I said, with 1 minute 35.5, completing 108 laps in the Force India. Fernando Alonso was second with a 1 minute 35.6, completing 122 laps. Daniel Ricciardo, third, the highest that Red Bull's been throughout the whole test session's third place, 1 minute 35.7, completing 66 laps. Felipe Massa was fourth with 1 minute 36.5, completing 103 laps. Yet again, some really good reliability from Williams. I'm really hoping they have a good season. Just for being an F1 fan, I really hope they have a good season this year, because it looks like it's looking good so far. Jensen Button in 5th with 1 minute 36.9. He completed 52 laps today. Jules Bianchi in 6th with 1 minute 38.0. As I said, he completed 75 laps. Hamilton was 7th with 1 minute 39.0. He completed 89 laps. Jean-Eric Verne was 8th with 1 minute 39.6, completing 61 laps. Esteban Gutierrez was 9th with 1 minute 39.9, and he completed 106 laps. And Pastor Maldonado was 10th with 1 minute 41.6, completing 31 laps. And Marcus Ericsson still lapping in the 1 minute 42s, doing 1 minute 42.5, completing only 55 laps. So we haven't really seen any performance running so far this test, and we know that the last 2 days I expect the teams to be having a much quicker performance run for the last 2 days of testing before we go into Melbourne. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with the Renault thing. We will keep you posted and we will have a look. Also, the other news story just before we go, FOTA, the Formula 1 Teams Association, has disbanded. Not enough money was one of the main reasons why to support it, but that sadly has disbanded. So the Formula 1 basically voice of teams, voice for the FIA is effectively gone. So the FIA can maybe make some more silly rules like double points without the teams maybe saying no. But we'll have to see how that goes. But as I said, to testing, we are 2 days left for testing, so we'll probably see some more quicker laps coming up for the last 2 days, more qualifying simulations. So please join me tomorrow for day 3 of Bahrain. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. And please remember to subscribe and like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. And that is all from me. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.